Victim Services is a nonprofit agency. We are located with emergency services, so we're located in the Guelph Police Service, and we provide assistance to all victims of crime and tragic circumstance. So we have a group of volunteers who provide service 24/7. So I have 4 staff in total, including myself. And then after hours, our volunteers cover, and what we do is we go out and provide assistance to victims at whatever they need. The first 24 hours for us is really important because if it's going to happen Friday at 4 o'clock. And most of our agencies are closed at Friday at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. So when we get calls Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, a lot of the agencies that we would refer them to for longer term are closed. So we're kind of the catch-all for after hours and weekends. Every situation is different. We deal with human trafficking, we deal with sexual assault, we deal with domestic violence, homicide, break and enter. You know, people think break and enters aren't that big of a deal, but when somebody comes into your home and violates your space, it's a big deal. Your home is supposed to be where your place of safety is. So all of our calls are different, and our volunteers go through a lot of training, and our staff are there to support our volunteers and also support the victims. Pre-COVID, in Guelph and Wellington County, we usually had anywhere between 80 and 100, and that's including our board of directors. And now we're sitting at 46 active volunteers. So yeah, we're short. Yeah, really short. Volunteers, the biggest, like I said, the biggest is the initial training. Once they're done that training, they're paired up with an experienced volunteer, so they're not just sent out on their own. The volunteers always go out in pairs also. Our schedule is quite good, actually, for people because it gives them a lot of opportunity to decide what they want to volunteer. So you're volunteering 4 8-hour shifts a month, and you choose those shifts. So we have one person that does every Friday night 11 to 7, or we have another person who does every Sunday from 3 to 11. So it's unpredictable. That's one of the things it is. You never know when you're going to get called out, but we tell people to live their lives like if you go grocery shopping, you may have to leave your cart, but you may not. So you just have to have your phone with you and be ready to take that call. Yeah. We have programs that will provide financial assistance to victims. However, it doesn't cover everything. There's a very strict what we can cover and what we can't. Opportunities like this is we don't have the ability to fundraise. We don't have the time to fundraise. We just don't. If we fundraise, then we're not doing the job we need to do. So we're a small agency, and fundraising is hard. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. And unfortunately, we don't have that time, so I really appreciate opportunities like this. And we have a lot of client expenses that sometimes aren't covered. So for an example, and I'll give you another example. So probably 2 months ago, I got a call, and it was a domestic violence situation. And this young woman had split from her partner, 2 kids. He had called and threatened to kill her. So the police called us, and they, identified that there's a high risk of safety. So we put her in a hotel, but that's not covered by our funding because there was no violence. It was just a threat. Well, I'm not going to say no and have something serious happen. Like, we'll find the money to pay for that hotel. Other examples of it not being a crime is, you have a sudden death of a baby, and the police have to investigate. And a lot of the times they'll say that people can't stay in their home that night. And it's great because we think everybody has access to family and friends and money, but not everybody does. So that's not something that, again, we can cover. It's really hard situations. And again, a lot of the times people have the means or the capacity to deal with those situations, but there are times when people don't. So sometimes what happens is there's a crime or tragic circumstances, and people need to be give a statement. And sometimes statements, if there's multiple people, can take a long time. So you could be at the police station for hours, and nobody's thinking again of when is the last time you've eaten? When is the last time you've had something to drink? That's our job. We think of those things, right? And it's funny. Sometimes it's those little things that matter more than those big things. Just making sure that their basic needs are taken care of. Our motto is treat people the way you want to be treated. And, I'd like to say that, I provide service to victims of crime and tragic circumstance, but that doesn't mean tomorrow I'm not going to be a victim.